So hey everybody, welcome. It's let's see, September 29th. I can't even believe it. It's crazy. I don't think there's a need to really run through the September sales and whatnot. I think you guys have got it by now. But 2 days left in the month, so still time to hit your goals if you're not quite there yet. And I know that some people are starting groups on Monday the 5th, so that's that Monday coming up. So so push for that and go for it, and don't give up till it's over. Don't Granny Stefani it. I think you guys have heard my story of that. Push through all the way to the end. And then in October, we'll have some exciting things happening too. I know October 1st, I saw they're going to have some kind of demo of the new hammer and chisel on Beachbody On Demand. So that should be pretty sweet. And I think some of you know that in October Super Saturday, Jericho, and a new trainer who's actually not new, she was part of the Les Mills team, I guess has apparently branched off from Les Mills. She and Joel were here for Super Saturday a while back, early on in my coaching career of 2 years. Anyway, she apparently and Joel are going to come out with a new workout program too. They're going to be the next celebrity trainers for Beachbody, is the word on the street. So I'm sure we'll know more about that following Leadership, which is coming up in 2 weeks, I think. I think it's the second weekend in October. So I'm sure we'll hear much more about that, or whatever other announcements they will make at Leadership, which they usually do introduce new things at Leadership. So that should be exciting. If you're not signed up for Super Saturday, now's the time. But local coaches to Pittsburgh, I will post in the group. We did a tour. I'm part of the Pittsburgh Market Council, and we just did a tour. We're doing our Super Saturday this month at Stage AE, which should be cool. It's a really cool venue if you've not been there. It's actually a concert venue. And Jeff Hill and Jericho, that trainer, are coming to Pittsburgh, which is cool. But definitely get involved in your Super Saturday local to wherever you are. And if you have any trouble finding that, let me know, because events are so important. And it really is a time for, this is such an online business. And, these calls are amazing, and it's nice to see all of our little heads, but it's really nice to see the whole body. No, but it's actually really great to just be in person. It kind of helps refresh and refocus and see in action what we do. I think it's pretty similar at all the Super Saturdays, but I know at ours, we always do success stories, both challenger and coach success stories. And some are so moving and so touching. It's really just so great to see everything in action. Then we always do a live workout, which is also really cool. If you've never participated in one, the energy level is so high, and it's awesome. And then they always do the updates about what's coming up for Beachbody. So there are some, like, the chances of the aha moments happening at live events are just so much higher, and they happen with so much more frequency than even these calls, and certainly just your everydayness of online, whatever. So get to events, and particularly these ones, hey Mitch, particularly these ones that are local to you, because you can also meet coaches not from our team, which would be really cool, because you can branch out and learn what other people are doing. I've met a couple of different people who I've connected with, and at various points been success partners with, or just bounced ideas off of, or just kind of heard what other teams are doing. We have one way of doing this business, but it really is one of, I think there's literally nearing 400,000 coaches. So you can only imagine how many other ways of doing this business there are. So get there. And like I said, if you need any help finding one in your area, post in the group and we will help you find one. But that's October 17th is our Super Saturday. Some cities do it on Friday or on Sunday. So just look into where yours might be. So I was just saying really quickly, the local coaches, I'm going to post in our group later tonight. I just got back online now, but I'll post in, because the ticket thing, there's a special ticket thing that we're going to do so that we can save some costs on that, because we found a little glitch when we were there today about the ticket prices, and I'll tell you about that in the group. So So Teri volunteered to share her story with us tonight. So thank you, Teri. She actually made a video of her story and she wanted to share it that way, which I think is pretty cool. So if you want to take over, that would be awesome.
Sure. I can probably unmute myself.
Yes.
Okay. This kind of seems like a cop-out because I'm just putting a video up here, but I don't know who suggested it, but I did it one day because we were going to use it to put in our sneak peek. And all of the coaches in our sneak peek sort of shared part of their why in some way, whatever. And just a little, warning. I don't know if I was like PMSing or what, but at the very end, I guess I realized why, because they say like your why should make you cry. And I do. So just fair warn, ugly cry face, yuckiness is coming. Okay. So here you go. It's not long. It's like 5 minutes. And I really don't have a big story. Let me just figure out how to just share my screen here. Okay. Can you see that? Yes? Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Teri Shaw, and I am a 2-star diamond coach on Team Revolutionizers. I just wanted to come to you today and sort of give you my story on how I decided to become a coach. I started out coaching because I wanted the discount. I loved Shakeology and wanted to invest in it monthly. And I just knew I would want to continue on with all of the amazing fitness programs. So it seemed like an awesome discount, and I decided to jump on board. Because I learned so much and got great results from my challenge that I participated in, I just sort of had this burning feeling to share it with others and invite them to the whole experience. So I already had a full-time job as a child care provider with 3 kids of my own. And so for 2 years, I worked the business part-time. At first, I just put in time when I could, inviting friends and family members to join, groups I was participating in. And then as time went on, I put in a little more time. And I was able to see and help more people. And I was noticing as I was doing that, I kept getting like a paycheck, which was pretty cool. I started out doing that, and then I decided to put in a few more hours a week. If I could help more people, why not? I would put the kids to bed at night, turn off the TV, and then just work for a few hours before I went to bed. And I did this for 2 years continually. I just kept being consistent. I was building relationships, adding to my network of people, learning more about social media. In the meantime, growing my business. I feel like I was probably consistent and, maintained, just keeping up with it because my why for doing it was so strong. My why is my family, and it's always been my family. I want to be at home with my kids as much as possible. I want to be able to keep up with them when I'm 50, 60, and 70 years old. I want to be able to play with their grandkids and not feel exhausted. I want them to learn to see the importance of healthy living. I want to be able to go on a run with my husband when we're 55 and feel okay, or go on a date with him when we're 70 and still feel and maybe look okay. I want to make sure that my kids see why this job is so important in the lives of others. God gave us this one body to take care of, to love and nourish. We need to learn how to do that appropriately. And some people just don't know that. They don't have the resources. They don't know how to do that. My kids have heard stories from me about great changes that have happened in the lives of my challengers. And I want them to be able to hear more, and I want them to live it and share it as well. So that's kind of my why and what has driven me to be a part of all of this. So as of June 2015, this past summer, I quit my job as a childcare provider, and I was able to go full-time as a health and fitness coach. Over those 2 years, the past 2 years, I saw a great life change in so many people, people that have just come into my life that I did not know at all. Some people I still have not met. We just have this great relationship on social media. it just sort of drove me to want to pursue this as a full-time career. And I just happened to be in a place in my life, it was the right time in my business where I could actually do that. I believe in this company and its longevity, and I stand by their mission totally, which is, to help people achieve their goals, to lead healthy and fulfilling lives. I like being my own business owner, setting my own hours, working wherever I want, being home when my kids come home from school. It's awesome. And I love being able to work with such an amazing team of women who share the same passion in helping others as I do. They were my outlet at night. We would jump on team calls and, collaborate together. And it was awesome just to have that support from people who have that same passion that you do. I am always motivated by a quote from Andy Stanley. It's just something that continually drives me in this career, and it is, do for one what you wish you could do for everyone. I think that's pretty strong and keeps me going. I know I won't be able to help everyone. And I know what we can provide won't be a perfect fit for everyone, but if I can help one person a month, one person a week, it's awesome. Oh, gosh, I think I would cry. So that's my story. Thanks for listening.
Okay. Told you, ugly cry face. Hold on, now I gotta get out of here. It's really weird watching yourself do that.
Oh, that's a great story, though. What was it? What was the part that made you cry, do you think? The helping one person?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was, I don't know, the quote, do for one what you wish you could do for everyone. I was just thinking, like, can't help everyone. And the, thanks, Mia. The right before, well, it was probably 2 weeks before that, I rewatched that sermon that Andy Stanley had given. It's a whole thing, and it's really powerful. And if anybody wants to watch it, it's awesome. It's online. I shared it with my team because it's kind of like something we all sort of go by. And I watched it and listened to it again. And when I did, I was like, oh my gosh, like, it's such a powerful, and he had an experience that was like well beyond anything I've ever experienced, a story that he had shared, and just helping the one person, like he put everything into this one person, even though he didn't really want to or feel, and it totally transformed her life, his family's life. So I don't know when I said that, I think I was like thinking of that, and I don't know, I could have been PMSing, I don't know, but I was like, why am I crying right now? I don't know. And then I was like, oh gosh, now I should probably redo the whole thing because, and then I was like, well, maybe I could just edit that other part out. So I had Dan watch it before, and I said something like my kids' grandkids, which I won't be alive when my kids have grandkids. Like, I was just kind of bleh. So I had Dan watch it, and I was like, do you think I should say this or keep it, whatever? And he's like, I'll watch it. And he came into the room, and he was like sobbing. He's like, no, I think you should just keep it. I was like, okay. So I did, but ugly face and all, it's there. And it's not really, I guess, it's more of my coaching story, not really my story of why I don't really have like a big story to go with, Beachbody. Kathleen is the reason that she got me hooked on T25 and Shakeology, and it made a huge difference. And she is the reason why I am here. So I kind of wanted to talk about that and why I was here. So, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was awesome. I love it as is, and I love the rawness of it. It's real. It's you, and I think it will really touch people. I'm sure it already has, whoever you shared it with in your coaching team and all that. Does anybody have any comments for Teri or questions? No. Okay. I actually, though, I love hearing these stories because I love like trying to think about niche markets for people. And I feel like for you, I've always thought, oh, it's the former college athlete, like the coaching kids, coaching whatever. But I never really thought about that daycare provider niche for you before.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it just seems like people, like exactly like your story, people usually do that because they want to be home with their kids. And what a great alternative is this coaching business, you know? Jen,
Yeah.
I'm talking to you.
Jen and I are living the same life, although I hung it up. So, but yeah, it really, you don't really think about that. And for me, and I don't know if it's the same for you, Jen, and even for teachers who are with young kids, like when we had those Zoom calls at the very beginning, I would not see an adult all day except for my husband. So when we had Zoom calls, I was like, okay, what can we talk about? Tell me something, fill my brain with like good thoughts of, higher intellectual thinking, because I was just like so kid, crazy.
Teri, I went to Fit Club for 15 minutes today just to get out of the house.
She hadn't got there. She was a little late. She's like, I don't even care. We just need to get out of the house. You can run around. No, but seriously, that you need that, So that's a good point. I didn't think about that, Kathleen. I haven't really been going after, not that I'm like going after anybody, but I haven't really thought of doing that, but why not? I don't know.
Yeah. Think about that. Yeah. You and Jen could collaborate on that kind of idea.
Yes.
So I'm going to be totally honest with you. We were supposed to have a speaker tonight, and she canceled on me about social media. And I think it was at a good time, though. Not that she canceled, but because a couple of us have been doing a little Instagram training together in the mornings and having some accountability that way. And the thing that we were talking about this morning was having a contest and having Instagram be a targeted niche market, that it should be a feature of your brand. And it makes me think, Teri, hearing your story, it's all like coming together maybe, that perhaps so my Instagram account, which I don't really have active, we're talking about I'm thinking about making it specifically for social workers and doing all the quotes and the inspiration, anything I could think about putting in there, because usually social workers work for less money and but we want to save the world, and there's something about that I'm trying to figure out. But now I'm thinking you could actually do your whole Instagram about daycare provider. Anyway, but the whole point, though, what I was thinking is that maybe we could brainstorm together a little bit, having our marketing in general be a little bit more focused on having a purpose. So when we set up the free groups initially, and we talked about this last week, but I just thought maybe we could keep going. When we set up the free groups initially, I guess when I set up the free groups initially, I thought that it would just be really helpful to get people good information, maybe build a little bit of trust or whatever. And now I'm seeing that there's so much more opportunity in the free groups, and we could actually design them in multiple ways. I think it was a good start, what Shannon and Crystal talked about on the last call about, directing them to on demand and having them get a taste for that. But I'm thinking that there could be multiple reasons why you would want to do a free group, and thinking that through before doing a free group could be really helpful, and talking it through too. Because for me, one example is, for me, I'm going to roll out a new blog. I have had some people help me create it a little bit more user friendly than my current blog is, and then also give me some ideas about who am I speaking to when I'm posting and whatever. But I'm thinking a free group for me might be solely to point people to my blog, and that's it. maybe the sale will come eventually, but maybe the purpose is for me to just get my blog, people seeing my blog, which builds SEO, which is your ranking on Google and whatever. So that could be one reason for a free group, right? Another one could be maybe you just want to get more likes on your Facebook page or more likes on your Instagram or whatever. So when we were talking about doing a contest within a free group where where maybe you would have people hashtag things, and the idea would be that people would, in order to be entered into the contest, like the contest wouldn't be contained in the free group. It would be, they would, to be entered into the contest, they would have to hashtag a certain word or a certain phrase or something like that, and associating that with the free group. And in order to be entered, maybe they would also have to like your Facebook page or be a follower on your Instagram account or whatever. And I'm just thinking, like, it's these little tiny tweaks, I think, that if we could do, I don't think we need to change the entire structure of free groups, but I think if we can just tweak them a little bit. So I was seeing in the Inspiration Nation, and I love the idea of a crockpot group, right, that I see some of you doing. That's a great idea. But what's the actual overall goal of the free group? And I'm thinking, like, is it just to give them good recipes? That's nice, but we're running a business here. You know what I mean? And I think that if we can together try and think through what's the actual goal of the free group, because it's probably not just to get people crockpot recipes. You know what I mean? And this has been my problem from the start, is I'm like, I just want to give them information, but like, let's get our business savvy hats on here and think it through a little bit. Go ahead, Nikki.
Well, I initially did the crockpot group because I was thinking, like, I've been trying, like, right now to focus on football moms because my son plays football, and so pretty much every single night of the week is shot because we're there 2 hours a day. So that was kind of my focus, and I actually got most of my challengers for that from a football group that I'm in, like a nationwide football mom group that I was in. So that was kind of what I was thinking when I did the crockpot. It wasn't just, I mean, I don't really care for crockpot meals, but that's what I was thinking when I did it. So.
Which I think that's perfect, but I think take it one step further. Like, okay, so you've got this group of football moms. That's probably a fantastic group, right? I mean, you probably got a million, and that's such a great need to fill. And I can tell you that I'm just entering into those things, and I'm like, good Lord, when do we eat? I mean, we come right home from school, we do our homework, we go on to the next thing, and then we come home, and then what are we supposed to eat at like 8 at night? No, we can't. Anyway, so I think it's a great idea, but I think like just tweaking it a little bit, I think we could see some really good results. So like, for example, in the original clean eating group that actually Jen Rousey and I created together, we didn't even really, we talked about Shakeology like a smidge, but it's more than that. It needs to be answering a need. Our product, the benefits of our product need to be answering a need that these potential people might have. So crockpots are a great intro, but I think trying to answer the other need of quick meals, I mean, obviously Shakeology like comes immediately to mind when I think quick meal. And I'm thinking, like, if we could just tweak our stuff, and I don't have the answers yet. I'm just trying to play with this because I think, like I've said before, I think our team is awesome at bringing people in to free stuff, but then we just need to get that little bit. And I think it's either talking about the benefits more, like more personal stories, more testimonial kinds of things, like Teri's video might be a good idea, like just having more, not just like videos about what's this, what's that, but more like, Shakeology did this for me. Like, I had this thing, and now, like, I couldn't find time to make myself lunch, and now I have Shakeology because, you know what I'm saying? Am I making sense? So like, I think if we can just get a little bit more of that into our groups, I think we'll have much higher success with converting people or achieving whatever the goal is. So if the goal is to just get them to like your page, then that's a good goal to have. Does that make sense? I'm sorry, I missed whatever the stuff was going on. Specific, yes, the pumpkin drop was a cool idea. I like that one. Okay, so to play with that a little bit, I thought a couple of things that we could use the Shakeology in that group that we were doing, the posting formula that sort of fell off again. Mostly because the guy that was helping me do that has also kind of dropped off, which always makes me sad, but that's okay. We'll move on. But anyway, we can use some of that. You know how we went through and all talked about what Shakeology has done for us? I thought we could use some of that stuff to put into the free groups more, like more specifically little stories or little whatever. Or we can just go through and think about what's the, what are the other benefits? Because people essentially aren't buying products, they're buying the benefits of what we're selling, which would be, I think, and it's not true for everybody, but it would be like time, it would be health, it would be, do you know what I'm saying? Am I making sense? All right, what do you guys think about that? Do you want to like talk through some of that stuff?
So we do, like, let's say there's like that focus, and I do think adding more testimonials is a great idea, whether it's like picture in a blurb or a little video of somebody just saying how Shakeology has changed them. We always have done where, like, they're in a group, we're sharing these things, they're learning about clean eating, with these extra little recipes and doing things quick and things like that. And then at the end, we always say, like, okay, like the next step in this is, and we just like point to the 21-day fix. That's what we've always done. And I don't know, like, if you guys do the same, it's like, okay, here's like the introduction. Next step is this. Our group starts on Monday or whatever the day is. We give them like a little blurb about the fix, what it is, what you get, how it works, and, some testimonials about it. And then I'm not sure, like, I'm not sure the conversion rate, but last month I don't think it was great. Well, for me, it wasn't at all. But I didn't have many people in the clean eating group. But originally it was when I had more people in there, and I don't know what are you guys doing? Like, how are you getting them? And I know this is the problem and what we're trying to get at, but I don't know, have you been doing the same thing and it's not working, or are you not? Or like, I don't know, do we push them more towards a challenge group next? Like, I guess that's the ultimate goal, to help them more and learn how to use Shakeology in a, daily basis. I don't know. I'm just talking.
Does anybody want to speak up about your experience of where you're sitting? What does the free group look like to you, and what do you think could be changed about it? And anybody want to speak to their conversion rates? I can't remember who it was just said they had 0 conversion in I forget who just said that. Oh, that was you, Nikki.
We just actually had another really successful 14-day challenge where tons of people participated. And originally I was going to separate the groups because there were so many coaches and there were like so many challengers. But I'm like, you know what? This is the second month that we're running this challenge. Not every coach on my team ran the challenge the first month. I was like, so let's just do it all together. So I now see the benefit of having the smaller groups, because the large group, because so many people were posting, selfies and like what they did for the day, our posts as coaches got completely lost. Like everything talking about Shakeology and everything talking about the 21-day fix, like just got lost. Everybody was more focusing on one another than it was on what us coaches had to say. So even though there was a lot of success from the group, we definitely have people that are in my sneak peek group now from the challenge. I believe a couple coaches sold challenge packs. I have somebody who wants to join the next challenge as well. So, there is success. It's just unfortunately I don't think as much as first time around, just because the group was so large, We then tried pinning the posts, and I tried explaining how to pin the post, but if not everybody saw the video that I made of what a pin post is, they said it was, a mess. But I think overall it still went well. Like, definitely a lot of people participated. A lot more people participated in these 14-day challenges than compared to the 5-day cleaning, I think.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Nikki?
I didn't have such luck. I had one girl who got completely overwhelmed in the first day with all the posts, so she dropped out of the group and canceled her Beachbody On Demand and was like, I just can't do this right now.
Wow,
And then
I didn't know that.
I had Megan. She did do really well, but this is like her third free clean eating group with me, and I just let her in because she's my friend. She's not gonna ever be a purchaser because her husband won't let her. And then I had a couple girls that started the first few days, and I tried to follow up with them, and they just kind of were not that interested in it. So
But were you checking in? You were checking in though, right, to see everybody else's? And
yeah, I stayed in through the whole group. I think for most people it did work out really well in their favor. Just for me personally, it didn't.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I think next month we're definitely going to make it smaller, maybe only have 2 coaches in each group, even if it's 5 challengers, I don't care.
So let me ask you this, when you think about your free group, like what's your overall goal? Is it to get them to purchase something? Is it to get them to do another group? I mean, tell me what your...
To purchase something. So the whole goal, like the very first week, since there's a lot of coaches, like every day I want them to share their story and emphasize how much the challenge groups that they've been in, Shakeology, and even being a coach. Like from day one, my intro video, I mentioned about the coaching opportunity just to plant that first seed. And then, so every day for the first week, because there's at least 5 coaches, a coach is posting their story about Shakeology, the programs, or whatever their story is. The first week I mentioned the 21-day fix, and then I thought I mentioned Shakeology the first week too, but I didn't. So I might change that in the template. But we mentioned it the second week. So, but I think that during the challenge, like a lot of us coaches are posting pictures with us drinking Shakeology and us doing these workout programs, and I feel like, doing it that way. And then at the end, we want them to convert into, our next challenge.
So it might be helpful, I'm just trying to think this through. It might be helpful to actually start doing little stats if you haven't yet. Like how many people are in the free group, how many people converted, you know what I mean? And to paying customers, stuff like that. Because I think it would be really, I think for the original free cleaning group, I think it's really low. And I think that yours is probably higher than that. But I feel like other coaches in the network get really good results. And I think that we could still make little tweaks to it. You know what I mean? I feel like that.
I would love for you guys to try the 14-day challenge, just at least once to see for yourself, like the difference it is compared to the 5-day. Yeah. I think the missing piece is the health and fitness, the fitness aspect of it. I feel like it's longer. There's more information, and I'm still not giving away like everything, from all of our other challenges. I'm just sharing, if you want to just take a look at the challenge, just the same stuff, the clean eating principles, one today, and then something motivational, and that's it. Nothing big secrets, like not big secrets, but you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like also too, I'm following up with people that didn't, transfer over into a challenge now to invite them to the next challenge personally, because I feel like a lot of people have fallen off since the challenge ended,
Right.
I don't know. I just would love for another team to try it one time, because I really think the challenge within the challenge really helps people post like every day.
Right. Definitely.
But you're right. It's that missing link of, okay, well, how can we convert people. And I think there's always going to be people in groups that aren't going to participate and just fall off. And I don't think that has anything to do with us. I think it has a lot to do with them and them not being ready. But then if there's something that we can do to help them stay on board, that would be great too. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I think of myself with that. I would never have participated in a challenge within a challenge. I didn't post at all in the first 2 groups I was in. And yet I became a coach after the first group. So I don't know. That's really tricky. But
But then there's people who posted in the group that they've never posted a selfie before in their life. And here they are doing it in this group.
Right. True. Okay. Teri, yes, I saw you were unmuted.
Well, I was just going to say one thing, Shannon, to tell you this, because I didn't know if you knew it or not. I didn't, but we had a group that was huge one time, and the same thing started happening. Our posts started to get lost, and so we changed the group posting and only allowed coaches to post to the thing, but everybody else could post in the comments only. So you could still put pictures, you can put anything in there, but it just kept everything in this long line. And then you could see everything in one whole line, and people weren't like putting all their pictures and recipes up and things getting lost. So that helped for sure. And we kind of had to explain it midway through, but now it just started that way. And I say, okay, like if you want to comment or post, you have to comment under the coach post, and we'll answer questions or whatever through that so that it doesn't get lost. But I know you had a big group. That might be helpful for big groups. If they're smaller groups, you can do that. But
yeah, I saw Melanie do that in one of her groups, but I'd never even thought to do that.
I think it's just when you set it up, when you hit the edit button and you can fix the settings, you can just select, only whatever administrators can post or something. I don't know what it's specific.
It's good to know. Thanks.
Yeah.
So after this 5-day sneak peek, we'll see if any of those challengers turn into coaches. I'll let you know because we have a good amount of those challengers in the sneak peek now.
So I'm just going to take it one step further. That would be really great to hear the stats on that. I'm going to take it one step further. So I think
I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off. One thing that I did do this time around that I didn't last time is that I did a coaching opportunity, business opportunity call, my first one, on Thursday of the second week, and invited the people only from the 14-day challenge into that, and then converted them into the 5-day sneak peek. But okay, I'm done.
Good. Did you have a nice turnout?
No, only one person came on who's in the sneak peek, but then a couple of others watched it.
Cool. Good for you. So I'm just going to take it one step further. So if we have these challengers in a different group, and the goal is to get them to, just trying to think through the goals again of the group. So if the goal is to get them to participate, I think it sounds like you were very successful with that piece of it. And I'm just trying to think, like, what's the missing link then to get them? So let's say you have these great customers, potential customers who participate in the challenge within the challenge. Like, does that set them up for becoming customers? And how about the people that didn't participate in the challenge within the challenge? Could they still become customers and still be successful? You know what I mean? So I'm wondering if some other ideas that I've been listening to, other sales people, not Beachbody related. It's the idea that sales need to be about learning about the other person's need and then providing them with a solution or whatever. So I'm just trying to think through, like, if my need, for example, because it wasn't to win a challenge, that didn't motivate me. I still don't know if it would motivate me, to be honest. But that's not to say that doesn't motivate other people, because I totally get that it does. But anyway, but to learn, if there's a way, like in that free group, I don't know if it would be some kind of like survey or some kind of questionnaire or some way to kind of grasp a little bit more of what people's needs are, and then try and present them with some kind of solution within the group. I wonder if we could have more success with the actual conversion. So anyway, so I'm just trying to think through I don't know how you would capture that exactly, but that's kind of what I'm wondering, if that's the missing piece for us, that we're not speaking to the actual need that could be filled with what we're offering. Does that make sense? So I don't know if we could do like some kind of pre-group survey and then kind of design the post around that. I don't know. Anyway, these are just my thoughts.
So Kathleen, what gives you, like you said that other coaches are having more successful conversion rates, like do you know who? And if so, like could we talk to them? Like for me, because I just feel like it's part of the compound effect, sort of like this is just like another seed plant. Like when people don't convert, like I know that one day they will, you know what I mean? And maybe they're just not ready now. Like, because I've had challengers that were in my free groups in the past that I've kept relationships with that do eventually turn into challenge pack sales, you know?
Yeah. I guess I'm thinking of the coaches that are like in the SC 20, 30, 40 like range. That we seem to be like, right?
But is it a free group that's giving them that?
What's that?
Is it a free group that's giving them that?
Well, I mean, I've heard the story that people have had free groups and walk away with those with lots of SC. And I hear like Anita Myron's one that has like did a weekly, or not weekly, a monthly free group, and she'd get her SC like 10 by the 15th or 15 by the 15th or whatever. And then she'd focus the rest of the month on the coaching opportunity. I'm not, she's really high up and I don't know that she would speak to us about that, but that's not to say that I couldn't ask. But anyway, I feel like we're missing a little piece, and I feel like if we can just get it, that it would be the difference for us. And I'm just trying to like brainstorm what that missing link might be. Because it's certainly not that we don't have the passion or not that we aren't kind-hearted people. I think that we got that nailed. I think it's the bridging between giving them stuff. And I also, the corporate guy, Jeff, that I speak to, regularly, he said, I think you're giving away too much for free. And I was like, ooh, I didn't think of that. You know what I mean? Like maybe we are offering too much. And particularly like with going through every single clean eating principle in a week, I mean, it just sort of like, maybe that is too much. Or maybe, or like some of the other things I just think through, like little tweaks that we could maybe do. If any others of you are promoting blogs, like rather than giving the recipes away, like they should have to go to our blog to get them. Like here's a meal plan, you can find all the recipes on my blog. Or you could do that similarly, like if you had your like page, if you kept, I think Nadine does like a picture album of all her recipes. Here are the recipes, go find them on. You know what I mean? Like it's those extra steps that help connect all your social media together that I think could be really helpful. Like those little things, like we don't have to change, or maybe we make maybe the free groups are, like maybe we just go through 1 or 2 principles of clean eating, and you get a meal plan. You have to go find the recipes wherever you all designate your recipes to be found, and you have to blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Like it just seems like by having it all contained right in the group, including the contests, the challenge within the challenge, like even that could be adding onto that. The challenge within the challenge equals you have to hashtag on this social media and hashtag over here and like this and like that. You know what I mean? It just seems like if we could just, I don't know, boost it up a little bit more, I think we could really expand what we're doing.
Yeah, well, I think with that too, if they're doing all those things, and even like your challenge within the challenge, Shannon, that people were like posting or tagging you or something like that, like their friends are seeing it, their friends are like, what is she doing? You know, same thing with the hashtags and the Facebook likes. I remember doing that, my very first group that Kathleen conned me into doing. I did not like posting anything. I don't even know. I might have done a selfie at some point, but I didn't like the challenge within the challenge, but I did it. I remember we had to write what your why, I forget what it was. Like you had to like copy something and write it on a piece of paper and then take a picture of that piece of paper. I was like, this is so weird and dumb. I can't believe I'm doing this. And I did it, and everybody did it. And I think it's just because one person did it. But like, I did not feel comfortable doing that. I know like that part might be hard for somebody to do, especially there are some people who don't want others to know that they're trying to like change their lifestyle and they're in this like clean eating thing, and they want to lose weight and they don't want people to think that they eat bad because they're doing this. And so there are some that I know probably wouldn't do that, like wouldn't post on other social media sites. But if there are a few that do and can get traction and engage more people and see what they're doing, yeah, then I'd be all for doing that.
I guess it depends on what your overall picture is. I mean, like, my goal is to get coaches. Like, that's my focus. So, like, I want the people to stand out in each of my 14-day challenge groups that could be a potential coach. So if, like, those people, and yes, I do want to help people, yes. But if those main people that are posting every day, like, and participating in the challenge within a challenge that wouldn't have necessarily participated in, without that challenge, like, I want to bring out, like, I feel like it's bringing out their inner coach. It's giving them the, what's the word I'm looking for? The,
confidence.
Yes, thank you. Confidence. You know what I mean? To start posting and sharing their journey on social media. Mm-hmm. So I guess that's where, I guess part of why I designed it the way I did.
Cool. I think if you have the idea in mind, I think that's just the area that I have been missing personally is what's the real purpose of this group? Building trust is not a big enough purpose. I don't think for me anymore. I don't want to speak for anybody else, but for me now, I need to have a bigger, or not bigger, more focus on what the group is for. So I don't want to forget to mention, I was talking with somebody else about this, and when you do give away recipes, please be sure, I got my hand slapped by Facebook, and I think you all should know this story if you don't. So I thought originally that when you went to share a recipe that you just copied a picture from somebody, you copied the recipe as is and you shared it. And that is plagiarism. And you can't do that. People particularly who have blogs, who are trying to build their own blogs, what happened for me was I honestly just thought that's how you did it. So I just copied somebody's picture, copied their recipe, posted it to my Facebook like page, and I just, in the bottom of that, I put the link to their website. I thought that's what I was doing to credit them. But that's not how you do it. You cannot, she said to me, because she and I ended up having a nice relationship through all this, because she understood how new I was and whatever, and she ended up pinning something of mine as like I'm sorry that you got slapped by Facebook. But anyway, basically you can't copy somebody's word for word and show their picture. And because why would they ever go to their blog then? They have everything they need right there. Why would they go to their blog was kind of the reasoning. So you have to take your own picture for one. And if you're going to use somebody else's recipe, you can only post the link and send them to their site. Or you can tweak the recipe a bit, change a few things, make it kind of your own recipe, and then it's okay. So including on these templates and the recipes that we give, I try and make them my own. I try and make them myself, and I try and change a few things. Usually I like changing a few things because like, for example, I don't like garlic. I don't put that in anything. So anyway, I take that out, whatever. I know I'm Italian. I'm probably the only Italian doesn't like garlic. But anyway, so I would like to make sure that you guys are aware of that, because I don't want anybody else to get in trouble like I did. So make sure if you're using somebody else's recipe that you change it a bit. I usually put I change it a little bit, and I try and still credit them. I try and say adapted from this website, because I would really like somebody to do that for me as well. So, and don't copy word for word, because that could get you into some trouble.
I guess I'm kind of confused. Are you talking about, for example, that pumpkin image of the pumpkin spice Shakeology? Am I not allowed to just copy that picture and share it?
So that's a sticky one. I don't, technically you're not. I mean, but I use those images all the time from Google and Facebook.
Yeah, so do I.
But on my blog, I do not. I always make my own images for my blog. Cause I kind of feel like if people didn't, I don't know. This is just me talking. If somebody didn't put their website on that pretty picture of the pumpkin, that's kind of shame on them. You know what I mean? But just be careful, and particularly copying somebody's recipe word for word, because people really put their heart and soul into creating recipes. Some people do. So just make sure you be careful.
So here's a question. So there's that Amy's Healthy Baking that I send stuff all the time. And she has a little thing where you can actually like click and it'll say post to your wall from her thing. So when people are seeing that recipe, they're going, does that count?
No, if she has that, you go for it. Yeah. I'm talking about like if you literally
Copy.
select, highlighted it, hit the copy button, like don't do that. But yes, share those. I'm sure she loves that. She's probably getting lots of traffic that way. That's awesome.
So for like a clean eating group as well, like when we're just posting the recipes within a group, should we still be doing that or like putting where it's from?
Yeah, I think it just is,
okay.
Yeah. I mean, I would want somebody to do that if it was my recipe. So
yeah, that makes sense. I didn't do that, and I just thought about that. Like that, I probably should have put the link on there under the recipe. So just moving forward, just give people credit so they can. When you're coming up with your own master recipes, you're going to come out with your crock-pot recipe blog.
Like I actually just posted tonight. I shared a link of I love French dips, and I'm definitely craving one, so I'm making it tomorrow. But I posted the link, but then I also shared my little tweaks in the comments that I wrote about it. Not in the comments, but in my post.
Yeah, sounds good. Did you want to add something, Teri?
I was just going to show this real quick because I, hold on one second. I actually, one of my favorite recipes is one that Kathleen showed me or gave to me like a long time ago. And this is when I was learning how not to, like, I knew this was on her blog and I knew that I can't copy it. It's hers. But I don't know where Kathleen found it. I don't know if you created this from your head. Did you, Kathleen?
I took like an old recipe and I added a lot of veggies to it. And so I don't know when it becomes yours or not, but I tweaked, I did a lot of tweaks to a Rachel Ray recipe.
Okay. So I knew that she did that. I knew that I liked it. I added like some things that she didn't have in my, like, I'm guessing 2 cloves of garlic are not in yours. And then this is like one of my first recipes I ever put up. And then I knew I had to take my own picture, which is not very good. But then somewhere, right here. So I just put recipe adapted from Awakenings Fitness. And then when you click there, it goes to her recipe page. So if they wanted to see like where the original came from, that I think that's kind of like an example, I guess, of what, and whether you have a blog or not, I don't know if you can copy, I don't know how it works. Like you're saying like you can't copy the recipe, put it on your Facebook page with a link to their thing. You can just do the link and then send people there.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I was told. I mean, that's almost 2 years old now, so I don't know if it's changed, but I just be careful. The best answer is to take your own pictures, tweak the recipe a little bit, and write it your own way. But if you don't want to do that, just link them right to the other person's blog. Okay, so we need to wrap it up here tonight. I'm not sure if we made it any further on the free groups. I don't know. How do you we definitely talked it through a bit. I'm going to keep playing with this because I think this will be really, if we could get this down a little bit, I really think this would be huge for us. But I guess my big takeaway for you is as you're thinking of the October free groups and moving forward, just having the idea of what the purpose of the group is for you. And if it's, like for me, I'm moving forward a little bit. Some of it's going to be pointing people to my blog. I want to get a lot of people, I need to get a lot of action there to get it to rank higher and blah, blah, blah. So for me, I want that to happen. That's not necessarily everybody else's goal. But if you want to be pointing people to something, or if you want it to be that they all end up loving Shakeology, then just think about how you can add that in. And please don't use the templates kind of as if they're written in stone. Please play with them and, you know.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. The challenge templates. I agree with that.
With the, what'd you say?
The challenge group templates. Like I feel like it limits people's true potential as a coach in a group, because I feel like, it's copy paste. I would love for the coaches to break out of that and just post their own stuff sometimes,
Yeah. Yeah, and don't be shy about that. I mean, those are just guidelines, and you can say goodbye. I mean, they really were just to help us in the beginning when we had multiple groups going, and like, what group am I posting in? Who's posted what already? That's the only reason why those are there. But all right. Does anybody want to share something inspiring?
I can share a little thing that I posted on my Facebook wall today, I guess.
Yay.
But you might have all already seen it. Just a second. I gotta just read the wording. It was just something that really resonated with me, because it was just kind of like when I had my aha moment. Sorry, let me find it. Okay. It says, actually, I just woke up one day and decided I didn't want to feel like that anymore or ever again. So I changed just like that. And that is kind of exactly what happened, both with me dealing with being in a wheelchair, because I wanted to feel sorry for myself in the beginning all the time. And, oh, I'm not going to be able to go swimming, or, oh, I'm not going to be able to do this. And when I just came home and I'm like, I can totally do that. I just have to do it different, but I can definitely do it. And I've gone swimming, and I'm actually planning a trip with another friend of mine who's in a wheelchair. She did it this year, to go surfing, like body surfing next year. So like all kinds of crazy stuff. And then also kind of with my health and fitness journey too, because I really felt like it was hopeless for me to lose weight. And I was scrolling through Facebook on a Friday night, because that's all I used to do. And Shannon's ad was there, thank God. And I saw it, and I'm like, hey, why not? It's free. Like, so yeah, that's all.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I can't wait to hear about you surfing.
Super excited. And it's free. It's completely free. You just have to pay for travel.
Where is it?
Awesome.
There's one in Florida and there's one in California. So who knows where I'm going to go, but yeah.
Cool.
See, a free group conversion.
Yes, I love it. Now you should think through that. What convert, you know what I mean? What was it? What was the little thing that made you, you know what I mean? That would be a little key for you.
I think partially me though, like I kind of, when I do something, I just go all in from the get-go. And Shannon did have to convince me a little bit on the price of Shakeology, but other than that, I was ready to go all in with her, encouragement. So that's what I
do. Like, we talked a lot during the challenge.
We did. Yeah, I got to get better about that. But I think that's what's hard for me, because I expect everyone to just want to go all in like I did. And so I have to work on working a little harder for it, I think.
Yeah, I think, when like messaging your challengers a couple times a week helps too, I don't know if everyone does that, but I do that.
Yeah, I think that's super important. But I would also think back, Nikki, if you can, like what else was going on in your life? Why were you ready then? Like that's when the psychology therapist person in me is like, that's the question when people come in for therapy. Why now? Like, you probably had been thinking about whatever, and then something was ready for you. And I wonder if you could go back, or you know what I mean. You don't have to share with the group or whatever, but like, what was that little bit of like, why now? What was it? And if you can harness that a bit, you could craft your posting around that, I think, so you can capture the people who are ready, She's thinking, she's writing now.
I don't know if it was right around. I mean, I think I was just starting to realize with everything that it wasn't, it was right around that same time that I realized, that I can do things. I just have to, do them different. But yeah, I'll have to think about what exactly it was. I mean, I was miserable, but I had been miserable for a while. So yeah, I don't know. I'll think about it. I'll get back to you.
Yeah. Think about it. All right, ladies. Well, thanks for getting on. I love seeing your faces, and we will keep going. I'm going to look. I posted that obviously everybody who's on tonight can get on Tuesday nights, but I'm going to go back through and see if there was any other opinions about that and see what direction we want to move. But for me, moving forward, I think we'll just stick with this time for now until you can figure out if there's something that might work better for the team at large. But for now, I think we'll just keep going. But anyway, I appreciate your time, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a good night.